Anushka Sharma. Question 1. Despite a vast coastline and number of waterways, why has India not been able to achieve its potential in bringing a significant model shift from rail and road to waterways? India has a coastline of around 4,000 kilometers with eastern and western coast spanning the peninsula. It has various waterways such as National Waterway, Ganga to Brahmaputra etc. But despite roadways having various advantages such as cheaper, low maintenance, and low infrastructure development required, India has not developed the waterways. Reason for not achieving potential bias towards land transportation, as evident from higher representation in national infrastructure pipeline, barriers to uh, tra- tra- barriers for factors such as dams, non-perennial rivers, etc. Already developed infrastructure of roads, ports, and railways leads to low need of investment in new modes. Lack of independence as a mode of travel for as for long distance travel, reliance on other modes of transport is required. Therefore, waterways have not developed in India. For development of inland waterways, a scheme on similar lines of Sagarmala Pariyojana and viability gap funding is required. Question 2. The move to establish a national bank of financial infrastructure and development to reverse the drag on India's growth potential will have its own set of challenges discussed. India improved its ranking in ease of doing business to 63 in 2022, but still several barriers such as poor infrastructure impede its growth. Through budget of 2021, National Bank for infrastructure national bank or financing infrastructure and development has been envisaged. Benefits: boost to infrastructure development, stronger supply chains, reduce logistics costs as envisaged by leads index, boost job creation, make Indian goods competitive, help achieve make in India campaign goals. But despite growth potential, the idea is plagued with certain challenges like 1. Lack of level playing field as it will be monitored by government leading to biased behavior. Low private sector investment due to poor sentiment as seen in Bihar post repeal of APMC Act. Banks already facing high NPS would be unwilling to lend to NABFC. Political interference as members will be appointed by the executive. Lack of equitable development as India has seen unbalanced regional development leading to concentration of infrastructure development. Therefore, to fully implement NAFID's vision, independence, and regulatory for clearance absence has to be ensured. This can help achieve India's goal of 5 trillion economy. Question 3. Highlight the issue related to current fertilizer subsidy regime in India. Discuss the need for reforms in this context. According to Economic Survey, the second highest chunk of subsidy after food is fertilizer, which is dominated by urea subsidy, issued with subsidy. Overuse of fertilizer. In Punjab, use of urea, potash, and phosphorus is 40:3:1, where it is advised to be 4:3:1. Contamination of natural resources by leading to water and soil pollution. Increased source of emissions as nitrogen emissions are dominated by agriculture. No asset creation as money is used for consumption, not capital investment. High physical burden leading to increasing deficits. Reforms needed. Switch to nutrient based subsidy for urea as currently used for other minerals. Instead of subsidy based on use, money should be transferred using Jan Dhan accounts. Awareness generation about overuse ill impact on productivity through soil health cards. Therefore, instead of utilizing limited resources in subsidies, according to Ashok Gulati, the money should be utilized in public capital formation, which will boost productivity and help double farmers' income by 2022. Question 4. Identify the need for a climate resilient agriculture in India. Discuss how it can be achieved. Agriculture employs 45 to 52 45% of the 52 crore workforce of India and helps maintain India's position as a key exporter with changing climate Need for resilience is crucial. Need for climate resilient agriculture. Increased climate vulnerabilities, increasing droughts, increasing floods, highly variable rainfall distribution, rising sea levels. Example, IPCC report highlights how some key cities might be submerged by 2050. Example, Mumbai. Economics aspects, reduce variability in income, reduce food insecurity given high malnutrition status. Example, hidden hunger can increase uh, uh, poverty and disguised unemployment. Ways to achieve organic farming based on low use of chemical and fertilizer. Example, zero budget natural farming. Learn from various traditional methods of cultivation as seen in Koraput, etc. Empowerment of women through Mahila Kisan Sashakti Yojana. Reduce subsidies and increase capital formation according to Rees and Workey. Public sector capital formation gives boost to private investment. Therefore, to help achieve our NDCs and reverse the ticking clock of climate change, traditional and sustainable measures are required. Question 5. Mega food parks were considered to be a game changer for the food processing sector in India, but their progress remains stunted. Discuss. Mega food park scheme was launched in the last decade to give a boost to the sunrise sector of food processing significance potential to employ 60 million in the hmm, coming decade, boost export competitiveness, reduce disguise and employment of agriculture, require no additional skill development, issues with progress, low investment as private investment was key to lead to agglomeration effect, quality standards, low standard which are not able to face stringent international norms, example EU phytosanitary norms, red tapeism, loading to delay in licensing permits and distributions, overlap of jurisdictions as agriculture is a state subject, different incentives by different governments. Way forward. Viability gap funding, supporting infrastructure development, increase supply chain resilience. Therefore, food processing has the potential to reduce job creation burden and help increase export competitiveness, as highlighted in Niti Aayog's India 70 at the rate 75 document. Question 6. Give an account of the challenges associated with the rapidly increasing biomedical waste in India. Also state the key features of the Biomedical Waste Management Amendments Rules 2018. As the world marched up the pandemic unmasked, leading to increasing waste burden worldwide. COVID-19 pandemic has led to increased focus on biomedical waste management, challenges with increasing bio-waste, increasing pollution of soil and water, increasing need for waste management investment, increasing vulnerability of populations such as poor children, etc., increased need for land diversion for waste disposal, increased need of workforce and handling equipment, increased vulnerability to diseases, increased cost of handling waste. Key feature of biomedical waste management rule included rural areas in embed due to waste reaching even hinterlands, segregation of materials in 8 categories, increased liability of waste creating institutions, provided for monetary punishments in case of non-compliance, mandate safe handling equipment to workers for safe disposal, provided for strict non-mixing of biological waste. Therefore, the rules were stringent, but they were amended in 2020 to help deal with the new challenges of the pandemic to ensure containment of diseases. Question 7. What do you understand by impact-based forecasting in disaster management? How can such forecasting strengthen the disaster management preparedness? India, due to global warming and climate change, is witnessing increasing disasters. Impact based forecasting, area specific approach, decentralized response, customized infrastructure lead to creation of resilient support system, help in disaster management by above measures. Impact based forecasting refers to early warning system based on area specific impact of the disaster. This will help measure magnitude and intensity like Hmm. Richter and Mercalli scales. Question 8. Low Earth orbit is becoming increasingly crowded as countries race to launch satellites into space, highlighting the associated issues discussed international efforts taken in these regards. Low Earth orbit refers to the orbit starting from 160 to 2000 kilometers from the Earth. Though it has large ambit, still majority of satellites are concentrated in 160 to 900 kilometers radius. Issues: increased chances of accident given overcrowding of orbits, increasing space debris causing less space for missions, increasing private sector participation leading to competition for space. Starlink is planning to launch 60 missions, increasing misuse to demonstrate soft power by nations such as China, etc., increased chances of surveillance by nations, international efforts, Outer Space Treaty, of which India is a signatory, prohibits multi-militarization of space, Artemis Accords, propagated by USA. They are a set of principles to follow for space missions. As the international agreement is missing and new private and state actors are entering the space field, we need to build consensus on common space utilization rule. Question 9. Enumerating the existing measures to counter bioterrorism in India, highlight the need for a bioterrorism law. Bioterrorism refers to use of modified living organism to spread terror and disrupt normal life to leave a lasting impact. COVID-19 highlighted the doubts associated with the bioterrorism. Existing measures: EPA 1986 ban on import of genetically modified organism, need genetical GEAC approval for any trials of biotechnology. Biodiversity Act of 2002 regulates misuse of living beings. Need for bioterrorism law in India. Increasing international terrorism tensions between neighboring and non-neighboring states such as USA, China, etc. Scientific advancement. Given the rapid advancement of technology in the last 30 years, lack of regulation both at the international and national level leading to lack of accountability, poor moral of scientists. Example: Dr. Khan of Pakistan, who was held in espionage of nuclear weapons. Increased zoonotics has blurred the line between animal and human interaction there by increasing vulnerability. COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our growth and ambitions, thereby necessitating the need of bioterrorism law as we need to utilize one health approach to ensure our safety. Question 10. Discuss the potential of integrated law enforcement centers and smart walls on India's border areas to address the prevailing security challenges. India is faced with several security issues given its proximity to several nations, thereby requiring smart surveillance. Potential of integrated law enforcement centers, reduced duplication of work, increased speed of processing cases under foreigners tribunals order etc. Reduced burden of lack of experience passport, reduced case load of litigation, potential of smart walls, easy to guard difficult terrains, rivers, Feni, Tista, mountains, Lipulek, Chusal, forest, Myanmar. Reduced burden on security force such as Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Assam Rifles. Reduced illegal migrants by migrants by missing utilizing loopholes in physical borders. Increase reputation of anti-productive activities such as arms smuggling, drug trafficking, etc. Therefore, by utilizing above measures, as highlighted by Seketkar Committee, report, border management can be made more effective. Question 11. Farm loan waivers are neither adequate nor recommended for promoting sustained agriculture growth. Analyze. Increasing instances of farm loan waiver have been witnessed as political vote bank tactics. This has led to debate on viability of these measures. Benefits of farm loan waiver: provide income security to farmers as they have high debt burden, reduce the increasing vulnerability of farmers due to climate change as highlighted in climate vulnerability index, reduce the dependence on informal credit methods which charge high interest rates, provide funds to bank and reduce their losses due to rising nps, issues with farm loan waivers, moral hazards, as farmers have tendency to not fulfill their loan obligations is in expectation of waivers. Poor credit formation, as overburdened banks will reduce credit to farmers, thereby increasing benefits of nationalization of banks. Increased inequity, as banks would rather deposit money in priority sector lending funds with NABARD or with lending to areas having low defaults like Punjab etc. Poor access to credit for even decreasing farmers due to changing potential political policies, given high risk way forward, reduce farm loan waivers to the most vulnerable areas, disaster hit areas, transfer funds quickly to banks to ensure their financial health in cases of waivers, model act to act as torch barrier for any future waivers to reduce losses and moral hazards. Infrastructure development in India, given farmers' average monthly income is 1500s, focus should be on strong supply chain formations. Therefore, to double farmers' income by 2020, efforts need to be taken to implement long-term measures rather than engage in